COVID-19 vaccine tonight, a massive COVID vaccine trial for children taking place across the country, including right here in the Palmetto State. EMUSC is holding a clinical trial of the Moderna vaccine. It's for kids aged 6 months to 12 years old, so they can find a dose that's safe to protect them. So we wanted to know what doctors will be looking for during these very important trials, and also ask an expert how confident he is that the vaccine will be safe for children to receive once this process is done.
Fox Carolina's Matt Kaufax joins us live tonight after speaking with some doctors and parents to get their reaction to this big news.
Yeah, Tori, it is very big news. And guys, the number one thing that doctors tell me is that this is going to be a very lengthy process. They're not going to roll it out to all of the kids involved in the trial all at once. All in all, though, in the end, there are going to be about 7,000 children that are tested. One expert tells me he's very, very confident that they'll end up with a dose that's safe to immunize their much younger population. Dr. Andy Atz says he expects the first trial shots in arms of older children by midsummer.
It's going to have a very, very slow ramp up, making sure that the vaccine is really safe in these much younger children.
He says safety of the MUSC Moderna trials will be top priority, which is why the first months will be about something he calls, quote, dose finding.
Enrolling a very small number of children to figure out what the right dose is for that particular age group.
When we asked what that'll look like, he gave us this breakdown, saying it's really about 3 separate groups being studied.
There's a lot of difference between a 6-month-old and an 11-year-old.
Atz says they plan to study a variety of children from different backgrounds with various health conditions.
What is different about this is that I've never tested a drug in a child that has been given to tens of millions and probably hundreds of millions adults across the world before we first start testing it in children.
He says the more data he looks at, the more optimistic he is.
I am as confident as I possibly can be that this is a very safe thing to do.
I think that we've already seen enough information on the adults that I'm not concerned about the children.
That sentiment is encouraging for parents like Emily Phelan, who says she knows there may be more hesitant than she is, but for her, it comes down to what she feels is more unknown.
I feel much better with vaccination than I do with, my kids risking getting something that, could have long-term consequences.
So obviously, as you saw, there's going to be age-appropriate doses given to those different groups of children. They say that's also very different than the adult trials. But if all goes well, in the end, they will roll it out to a much larger population and eventually to everyone with children in those age ranges. Now, Dr. Atz tells me that may not happen until the year after next. That's how careful they are trying to be with this process and how safe they want to prove that it is before they put it out on a major scale. He says, in the meantime, the most important thing that you and your loved ones can do to protect those children around you that may be vulnerable is to get vaccinated yourselves. In Greenville tonight, Matt Kaufax, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.